The last step we're going to do is add a camera and animate that camera using our comp that we have currently. Now with adding the camera, we're going to use some camera terminology as well, because when we add a camera, the camera is created in After Effects to really emulate a real world camera. So the same terms apply. So what I'm going to do to add a camera is I'm going to go to Layer, New, Camera. Okay, and yours should probably be set up as 35, which is fine, and that's all we need. When we add this, it's going to be really close to the same. As you can see, we have camera up here now that's added, and currently nothing's really going on with this, right? If we pull down though, we have a couple things. We have camera options, right? And we have transformation. Now the camera options is all that stuff that's stated when we first open up a camera, right? These are all the camera options, which we are not going to go through that. That's the scope of this class. Okay, so we're not going to deal with any of the camera options. We're just going to deal with the transformation. This is going to be how we move and animate the cameras through these things, right? So for fun, I'm going to take this into the 4 view. Okay, now as you can see, we have the camera here, especially at the top and the right view. We have actually something that looks like a camera, right? Where we have this little box, it's the camera, and then we have like the X, Y, and Z adjusting points that we can have. And this is what the camera is looking at, right? So when we move the camera, okay, with it is the position, this is the actual camera moving. The point of interest is this spot right here, and this is what the camera is looking at, and this is the range of what the camera is looking at. So let's say we want to follow the fish down and do what's called a jib arm shot, right? If we want to do a jib arm or a crane shot sometimes, where we have the camera up in the air and we move the camera down, we can animate the camera position, right? And we can pull the camera up, and remember, we're looking at the active camera. Right now the front and the active camera are going to look very different. So we're going to move this up, right? That's our starting point, and then the fish dives and quits falling somewhere around here. We can bring the camera down under the water to look at the fish, right? Now, what we have here is we have the point of interest that changed as well, which is something we're going to have to move. So we can bring this down here, and we're going to have to hit the point of interest as well, because it's what it's looking at, right? And we can bring this up. We can bring this point of interest straight on to look at the fish. So we have these two spots that are being animated. So when we bring this down, we will bring down the camera along with the fish. Right? That's what it looks like. Okay? So what else can we do with this thing? Well, perhaps maybe what we want to do instead is bring the camera down a little lower, and we want to look up at the fish. So maybe we can see a bit of the water, right? That's something we can do. We can also travel the camera around the fish, much like we do with the globe, where we can do something like we'll hold the camera to here, and then we'll have a couple of seconds where we twirl around. We'll do something like this, bring it over, have the point of interest looking at the fish. Something like this. 3 seconds, bring it back, bring it over, swing the point of interest around so that we are looking back at the fish again. Let's just straighten this out so we're looking directly at the fish. There we go. We need to bring it down so we can actually see the fish. There we go. Side of the fish, might want to bring that down a little bit too so we can see it. Fish. 4 seconds. Can once again bring this over, forward, Swing around to look at the fish. The fish. Even though we can't see it, there's the fish. And then finally, you can go back close to our original space. Let's see. Here we go. Bring it over. Look at the fish again. We want to do it up. Alright, and as you can see in the front, we're not exactly where we had it. We were down here. And then maybe we should look up a little more at the fish to get these points closer to each other, right? And we can do this in lots of different ways by looking at the different views that we have here of what's happening. Right? So, and of course we can always swing this out to be a little more natural. We have all these things really on top of each other, looking at the fish as well. So we can see what that looks like and we can make the appropriate changes that we need to look at the fish. So now we have the camera moving around and we have a dramatic shot of the camera and the fish moving, right? So we have illustrated how to animate the camera right here. Now we can do some other things with the camera as well that we may or may not want to. So let's go for right here. We could do like the Z rotation of the camera, where we spin the camera around. Right? In fact, we can just do it one time. I think would probably be better. Oh, look at that. It's like really fast Hitchcock. Right? So we can spin the camera around if we wanted to. And we could do other things such as, we can also do like X and Y rotation, but that's going to turn the camera all the way around, as you can see from what's happening there in the right hand corner, right? So that's probably something that you may or may not want to do, but it's a little hard to do. Okay, great. So this pretty much concludes the tutorial of the camera, and hopefully this gives you a good understanding of what the camera can do.